Hi, my name is Josh Nelson with HVAC SEO. We specialize in working with plumbing HVAC contractors all throughout the United States, helping them really increase their sales and grow their business by more effectively marketing online. And on this video, I really want to give an overview of our program, what we do, what's included, and kind of just paint the picture for what we can bring to the table from an internet marketing perspective to you as a plumbing or HVAC business. So, really it all starts with your website. And if we look at a traditional HVAC website, typically what we're finding is, we've got a website that's something like 5 or 6 pages. Home, about us, our services, contact us, maybe a coupons page. And what we found is, in order to really maximize the potential as a HVAC or plumbing contractor, we need to build additional pages, because each page on your website can really only be optimized to show up for between 1 and 2 keyword combinations. So if we really want to show up for all of the different things somebody might type, if they're looking for your AC, heating, cooling, repair related services, you need to build out an inventory of keywords on your site. And then we got to have pages for each one of those keywords. So, we start really with the services page. So if you think home, about us, that's fine. That's critical contact information. It helps with conversion. But when you get to the services page, typically you'll find a list of the AC repair services. AC repair, heater repair, ventilation, cleaning, those types of terms. Then you get to the installation, and you need to have a page on the site for the different types of AC units that you install. So in some cases, we're talking about multiple brands. Now, some of you, you might just have one specific brand that you represent, but if you happen to represent a number of brands, well, then we want to have a page on that, because some people will search by the specific brand that they're looking to have installed. Then when we get really deeper in the AC repair, heater repair services pages, we want to make sure that we represent the different brands that we repair as well. So we don't just repair ACs in general, we also repair Rudd and Rheem and Trane and American Standard. And so you have to have each one of those brands represented on your website, so that if someone goes to the search engine and types in the search, Trane AC repair in my city, well, then you've got a page and you can rank for that. So that's really where we like to start, getting into the website and building out the necessary content. If you've got a great site and it's already set up and you're happy with the way that it looks, then we'll just piggyback off that existing infrastructure that's in place. We're going to need to do a lot of work, create additional pages, do the on-page optimization of the title tags and the H1 tags and the meta descriptions, so Google knows what those pages are, what keywords they should rank for. Now, however, if you don't have a website, or if you have a website but you feel like it's lacking, doesn't have the right look, doesn't have the right feel, doesn't have the social integration that you want, well, in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to build a new website on your behalf. Probably going to leverage some of the content that you already have in place, probably going to leverage your logo, your color scheme, some of the images that you have in place. But what we want to do is take that content, move it into a Web 2.0 format, and build those pages out and make sure that we've got placeholders on the search engines for each one of the different keywords that we want to be ranking for. And that's phase one, really just making sure we get the website set up correctly with the right pages and the right content. And that's probably about 10% of the battle, right? Just because you've got a website with the right pages, with the right keywords, doesn't mean you're going to be ranking on page 1 for those various keywords. There's a lot more work that goes into actually getting that site and those sub-pages to rank. And so there's 2 key strategies after the website's been developed that need to be looked at. Google Places optimization, doing the work necessary to build up your authority so that you can show up on the map in your area, and then what we call search engine optimization, creating authority for your website, yourwebsite.com, and the subpages on your website, so it will rank better than your competition. So I'm going to start by talking specifically about Google Places optimization or Google Maps optimization, and then I'll go on to search engine optimization. So from a Google Maps optimization perspective, the 3 critical components are having a consistent name, address, and phone number, or citation development, having a properly claimed and optimized Google Places listing so that Google knows what your services are, and can see the authenticity of your organization, that you've got depth to your, to your profile on Google Places. And then really the third and fourth critical components are having true reviews from your real customers in your authentic service area, and helping Google understand what that true service area is. And so what we do, we start with the Google Places listing. If you've got a claimed Google Places listing, we're gonna piggyback on it. We're gonna get the username and password. We're gonna go in and we're gonna make sure that all the best practices that we've found to work are in place. Making sure that we're not keyword stuffing. Making sure that we've got just the accurate company name, address, and phone number, and making sure that we've got images with geotagged information, videos with geotagged information, and really optimize that Google Places listing, Google Plus local listing, to the furthest extent possible. Then what we need to do is establish your NAP, your name, address, phone number, so that's consistently being referenced across the web. So we do a couple things along those lines. At the beginning, we're going to do some due diligence because in almost every case, we're finding that the clients we work with have a very fuzzy NAP. And by that I mean they have their company listed one way on Yellow Pages with maybe a certain name and a different phone number, and then they might have it listed a little bit differently on City Search or a little bit differently on the Better Business Bureau. And each of those little discrepancies add up, which significantly hurt your probability of showing up on the map. So we're going to do that due diligence to figure out what is the proper way that your company's name, address, and phone number should be represented online, and then get our hands dirty. We're going to go into each one of those online directory listings, see what's listed there, and proactively claim, update, modify those listings as necessary so we can get that uniform name, address, phone number. And if you look at our clients and you see the ones that are listed spot A, spot B on the map consistently in major markets, it's really a function of having that optimized Google Places listing, establishing that consistent name, address, phone number so Google doesn't see any discrepancies, and then of course putting a process in place to get consistent, real, authentic reviews from your customers. So we use a tool called Nearby Now, and what that is, it's a web-based program that allows you and your technicians to check in while you're out in the field. So we're going to set up a Nearby Now account for you. We're going to configure everything on the back end, but ultimately what's going to happen is you and your technicians are going to install an application on your mobile devices, whether they're Android phones or iPhones, and when they get to the place of service, they're going to open up that app and they're going to check in. And what that does is it captures your GPS data showing where you are in your service area providing a service call. And that information is then pulled from Nearby Now, posted to your website, posted to your social media profiles, and then through the microformat data passed to Google. So Google starts to get a better feel for what your true service area is. Very beneficial, and we're seeing it generate really good results for our clients in other markets, as you've probably seen. Otherwise, you wouldn't probably even be watching this video right now. The other thing that Nearby Now does is it helps to automate the request for a review. We know that we need real reviews from your true customers in your real service area. There's no way to game the system. Putting in fake reviews will actually hurt you more than it will help you. And so what we're doing with Nearby Now is once you've checked in and you leave the place of service, you want to have a conversation with the customer to say, hey, by the way, I'd like to send you an email with a request for your feedback. What's the best mechanism to send that? Whether you want to send it via text message or email, you either get a cell phone number or an email address, and you'll go to Nearby Now and you type that information in, and after every service call, an email will automatically go to the customer saying, first of all, thanks for your business. We appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Second of all, we'd love it if you'd write us a review. And strategically, we want to give them a lot of different options. We don't just want reviews on Google Plus Local or Google Maps. We also need to get reviews on City Search and Yelp, Yellow Pages, BBB. We want to diversify. We want to cast the net so they have as many options as possible for writing reviews. And there's two reasons for that. The first reason is you need to diversify where you have your reviews. If you have 19 reviews all just in Google Places, that doesn't look really authentic, and Google is going to put a question mark on you for that. Second of all, different people use different online properties. So some people are really active Google Plus users. They've got a Google Gmail account. They are active on, let's just say they're active on Google Plus. They like to watch YouTube videos. And so they have a Google account. And so when you send them a link that says, hey, write me a review on Google Places, all they got to do is click that link, use the email, username, and password they already have, and write your review. And that's real easy for them. Other people we're finding don't use Google. They don't have a Google account. And so if they wanted to write you a review on Google+, they'd have to create a new username and password and kind of navigate the way through writing a review on that, on that online profile. And it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, they get lost, they get stuck, it's too much effort. Now, but some of those same people might be really active on Angie's List, or they might be really active on Yelp.com. And so if you gave them the option to say, hey, write me a review on one of these places, Google Plus Local, Yelp.com, City Search, they would say, oh, well, I'll just write an Angie's List review because I'm a member of Angie's List, or I'll just write a Yelp review because I happen to write reviews for all the restaurants that I go to. So the idea behind it is we want to make it as easy as possible for them to write reviews, because after claiming the Google Places listing and optimizing it and getting the consistent NAP, the real crux of getting from page 3 to page 1, all other things being equal, is getting authentic reviews on a consistent basis from your true customer base. So we place a lot of emphasis, and we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and really hours, hundreds of hours really researching how we can help HVAC contractors start to get this process down so they're getting the reviews. And so we found that to be a great way to do it. The other thing we do is we provide you with review cards that we're going to print out when you get signed up, and we'll send them out to you. And what we want you to do is train your guys to, after the service call, say, hey, we're going to send you an email with a request for a review, but also leave them a review, write us a review card. And it's just a customized card. It says, hey, thanks for your business. We'd love to get your feedback. Go to yourwebsite.com/reviews and write us a review. We find that having a reviews page on your website where people can easily get to your profiles and write you a review is really important. It really helps to automate and to facilitate that process. So that's Google Plus Local, or Google Maps. Claim and optimize the Google Places listing. We identify and solidify the name, address, phone number. Of course, we're doing ongoing citation development as well, because citations are references of your company's name, address, and phone number. And if we can get more quality citations than your competition with that consistent name and address, combined with the review automation process and getting reviews from your true customers, we will outrank your competition in your market. Now let's cast our focus to search engine optimization, which is getting ranked in the organic, non-pay-per-click area on the search engines. And we already got the basic fundamentals of that squared away when we built out your website. We updated all the title tags, we mapped our keywords to specific pages on your website, we followed all the best practices from anchor text and on-page optimization. But in order to get that your city AC repair specialist page, and that your city heater installation, and that your city train installation specialist page to rise in the search engines, we have to have more authority for your domain. And the way we can develop the authority is by, one, creating fresh, authentic content on an ongoing basis, kind of also known as blogging, creating fresh information. And secondarily, getting inbound links from quality sources, from real authentic websites back to your website. So one website linking back to your website. And we put a proactive effort in place where we're going to be creating 4 articles every single month that are relative to your industry, the differences between the different types of AC units, how often you should be changing your AC filter, this type of factual information, putting it on your website, pushing it out to article directory sites where we can create some inbound links, but creating fresh content in that way. From a link building perspective, this kind of works hand in hand with the citation development. There's a lot of directories that we're going to be adding you to, and there's an ongoing process of finding new directories that have been yet to be discovered or you haven't already been added to, where we can create more citations, references of your company's name, address, and phone number, but also links. A lot of these online directories let you type in company name, address, phone number, description, website address, and when we put that website address, it does create some links back to your website. The other thing we do is what we call competitive link acquisition, and this might be the most valuable source for new inbound links that actually carry weight and can help you outrank your competition. And in that process, what we're doing is we're going to our various tools, and we're looking at the most important keywords: your city AC repair, your city air conditioning, and we're looking at who's ranking on Google and Yahoo and Bing for that specific keyword or those specific keywords. And inevitably, there's going to be a group of guys that are at the very top of the search engines. And the reason they're there is because they have well-optimized website that Google knows, okay, this should be ranked for this city plus this service, and they have more authority than the other websites that are online. And that authority is typically driven by citations and links. And so we're going to be able to look at your best competition, maybe not the best contractors in your market, but the best ranked contractors in your market, and pick apart their link profile, pick apart their citation profile, and systematically get those same links that are on, pointing to their website from other sites back to your website. Now, this is a very manual process. There's a lot of work that has to go into finding those citation and link opportunities, reaching out to the owners of those websites, or creating content of value to the owners of those websites so we can get similar links back to yours. But from an SEO perspective, that's the strategy. Create fresh content, continuously develop new citations, and look at the competition for your most important keywords and systematically get the same or similar inbound links back to your website. And again, if you haven't already, just take a look at a couple of the examples and case studies of other plumbing and HVAC contractors we've worked with in very competitive markets, and you'll see they rank consistently at the very top of the search engines for their most important plumbing and AC repair, AC installation specific keywords. Now, the other component of our strategy that we implement on your behalf that's very important is social media. And a lot of the AC and HVAC contractors I talk with will tell me, I understand that Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and all of this is really sexy and it's really hot right now, but I really don't get how this is going to help me, as the owner of an AC repair company, get more business by doing anything on these social media profiles. So the way I like to explain it is, if you just stop right now and you think, what's my number one source of new business? And you kind of run that through your head. What's my number one source of business? 99% of the time, it's going to be repeat and referral business. So the customers that have done business with me in the past and the customers that are telling their friends and their family about me. And if you think about that for just a second, those customers in today's environment are actively involved in Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and other various social media profiles. So the opportunity for you in social media is to connect with your customer on a deeper level, get more top-of-mind awareness with them in a way that's going to result in a massive increase in your repeat and referral-based business. The average Facebook user has 135 friends. And so if we can put a strategy in place to get your true customer after service to go and press the like button on your Facebook page, to go and press the subscribe button on your Twitter account, or to go and press the plus button on your Google Plus profile, that gives you the opportunity to remain top of mind. But it also is going to then alert every one of their friends, and I said the average Facebook user has 135 friends, that they just liked you. And so it's almost as if they went to their phone book or their little black book and they called all their friends and said, hey, I found this really good AC company in our market. Next time you need a good AC contractor, why don't you give these guys a call? And so I think you can start to get a feel for the potential power of that. So in order to get that working on your behalf in your business, you have to get two components in place. First, you have to have a mechanism to get your existing customers to go ahead and engage with you on social media, Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn. And then you have to have a strategy to put out relevant, valuable information. Because if you have 1,000 friends on Facebook and you don't ever put anything up and you don't engage with your customers, it's not going to do much for you. So in order to help you get your real customers to start to press that like button, we want to put an email marketing program in place. So as you're working with your customers and you're collecting those names and email addresses so that you can send them the request for review, we want to start to develop a database of your existing customers. Send an email out to them, thanking them again for their business and offering them some incentive to go and like you on Facebook or to go and press the plus button on your Google Plus local page. And so we help to put those types of tools in place. And then we help to manage the social media process. So coming up with content and ideas to put out on your social media profiles can be a daunting task. I mean, you might have resources internally, you might have some extra time to think about these types of things, but to consistently come up with valuable information that your customer base wouldn't be irritated by, but would add value to their life, it takes some thought. And so our team becomes your outsourced social media team. We will post to your Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus profile on a daily basis. And we want to keep this information to be very educational, very entertaining, and definitely only a portion of the time promotional. So the default thought is, okay, now I've got this captive audience of people that have liked me on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and put out special offers. Hey, get your AC checked. Get your AC checked. Get your AC checked. Well, that's not adding any value to the to the customers. And what's going to happen is, even if you did get them to like you in the first place, they're going to go ahead and press the don't like anymore and stop getting your updates. So what we want to do is we're going to become attuned to what's going on in your market, to what's going on in your industry, and put out valuable information. Upcoming events, things that are happening within the area, tips on how to properly maintain their AC equipment, and then just every now and then add a little bit of personality and a little bit of special promotion. By personality, I mean we want to get photos, videos, fun things that you're doing within your company, organizations that you're involved in, so that we can pepper that into your social media profile. And then listen to what your customers are saying, what feedback they're putting out on their social media profiles. It's Billy's birthday. We need to, on your behalf, say, hey, wish Billy a happy birthday for us. And, just engaging in those types of conversation helps to build that customer loyalty and take that, word of mouth and repeat business to a whole nother level. So, just to recap, that's our program in a nutshell. It starts with the website, building out the pages so that we have pages on your website for the most important AC repair, heating repair, geothermal, AC contracting specific keywords. Then aggressively building the authority for your domain through citation development, making sure you're added to all those online directory listings, through content creation, and through link building, getting more authority to your domain, and then helping you put some tools in place to help Google understand your true service area, automate the review request process. All of that works in harmony to get you ranked higher in the search engines for the right keywords on the map and in the organic section, which will result in more inbound calls, which gives you the ability to to grow the business and the lead generation engine of your business, but then also leveraging social media in a way that we can take those customers and turn them from one-time customers to repeat customers that refer you to others and continue to use you again and again in the future as they need other services that you provide. So that's what we do. That's the program in a nutshell. A lot of times you get the question, well, how can we track all of this? How can we measure what the true return on investment is and what's actually happening and how this is going to help me grow my business? And so we put 3 critical reports in place. The first is Google Analytics, and we're going to install some code on your website that give us the ability through Google Analytics to tell how many people are getting to the website on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, what keywords they typed in to get there, how long they stayed, what page of the site that they visited, and you'll get that report on a weekly basis. It's just kind of showing you what's happening. And the key measurement to look at there is the number of visitors to my website growing? Are they staying on the website longer? And are we getting the required or the desired call to action? The second report is a keyword placement report. So when we start out, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to do some keyword research. And if you've looked at our website, if you've watched our other videos, you know we've worked with a number of AC repair, HVAC, plumbing contractors throughout the United States. And we've done a lot of keyword research, so we have a pretty good feel for what the most commonly searched keywords are. But we're always going to drill down and try and get a more specific feel for what the most searched keywords are in your market, because it's going to be a little bit different from New York to California to to Chicago. So we're going to spend some time. We're going to make sure we develop an inventory of words that, based on search history, will generate relevant traffic to your website that will result in inbound calls. And we'll do some back and forth with you on that. Here's what we came up with, and then what should we add, what should we change, and that's really how we're able to say these are the words we want to rank for, and we're going to put that into a tool once we all agree that says, okay, where are you at when we start? What position are you in on Google and Yahoo and Bing for these various keywords? And then you'll get a report on a weekly basis showing how that positioning is changing. So your city plus AC contractor, you're currently in this position, spot 27. And then for your city AC repair, you're in this position, position 32. And on a weekly basis, you'll be able to see how you're moving up for each one of those keywords. And over time, we want to get you on page 1 for each one of those keywords, because on page 1 and in the top 5 listings is really where the traffic starts to increase and the number of inbound calls starts to grow. And the third critical report that we put in place is a call tracking report. In internet marketing, it's very easy to rest on your laurels and say, okay, well, it all matters is how many visitors you get to the website and what position you're in on the search engines. Unfortunately, positioning and traffic doesn't necessarily mean increased business for you as an organization. The real critical KPI, or key performance indicator, is how many inbound calls are we getting, and is that number growing? So what we like to do is put a unique tracking phone number on your website, view the graphics, that way it doesn't interfere with your name, address, phone number profile that we're going to be establishing for your map listing optimization. But it's a unique number, so when people get to the website, and it'll be local to your number, to your area, but so that when people get to the website, they're able to dial that number. It'll ring to your office just like it always does, but it gives us the ability to see just from the web, just from all of this stuff that we're doing for you, how many inbound calls are actually coming in. How many calls are you getting on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And you'll be able to report against that and listen to the conversations to really ascertain, okay, well, I got 64 inbound calls, and of those, some percentage of them were service calls, some percentage of them were installation calls, and know without any question in your mind what the true return on investment is. Because you're going to be spending X, and we know that you have to make X times a certain percent in order for this to be profitable. And that's what this is all about, right? At the end of the day, we're putting all of these strategies and techniques and things in place with the end objective of getting the phone to ring more, with more new service calls scheduled, more new installations scheduled, and making more money as an organization. So those are the 3 critical reports that we put in place. The analytics, the keyword ranking report, and the call measurement report. So we can see how many calls and what the true return on investment is. So that's the program. We are pretty selective with the companies that we work with. So if after hearing this information, you feel like, this sounds pretty good. This sounds like a program I'd like to implement in my business. I want to work with you guys. I'd encourage you to pick up the phone and give us a call. You can reach me directly at 866-610-4647. And again, we only work with one HVAC contractor in each major market. So, if you do decide to work with us, we're not going to take on somebody that's competing with you for the same services right in your geographic area. We just feel like that's a conflict of interest, and we don't do business that way. With that said, if you're interested, you probably want to pick up the phone and call sooner than later, because we do tend to fill major markets relatively quickly, and we're pretty selective. So there's no guarantee that we're necessarily going to take on everybody that calls in, but we'd love to talk with you. So please give us a call. Again, the number is 866-610-4647.